Today, I'm going to be giving you some practical advice on how you can build up the confidence to start rapping in front of others. So you've been working hard with developing your rap skills in the privacy of your bedroom, but at what point should you step out and share your talent with the outside world? And how can you get rid of the fear of rapping in front of others before doing so? I'll be covering all of that right now. So let's get to it. Now, the first thing you need to do, and I've already alluded to this in my intro, is you need to focus on developing your rap skills first. You don't have to master the art of rapping before you start performing in front of others, but you should be pretty decent at it. And if you're not sure if you're good enough yet, here's a few things that you can keep in mind to kind of assess your own skills. So number one, can you rap your song the same exact way consistently over and over again? If not, then one of the reasons for this could be because you have not structured your lyrics correctly yet. Like you haven't decided exactly how your lyrics are supposed to be structured to the instrumental. And so you need to figure that out first and commit to it and learn it. If not, every single time you rap your verse, it's going to be like a guessing game. Like, I hope it all turns out okay. You see, the way that us rappers, we structure our lyrics to instrumental is like every single syllable is placed in a specific place within every single bar. And that is very intentional. And that's the way we rap it every single time. If not, it won't sound right. It won't connect to the beats correctly, and it'll just throw everything else off. So it's like a puzzle piece we've created and we've mastered it and we've learned it, and we rap it that same way each and every single time. If you haven't already, make sure that you check out some of my videos that I've done on structuring rap lyrics. I'll post a few links in the video description below. Another reason that you may not be able to rap your rap verse consistently the same way over and over and over again is because of ear training. Your ears may need to be trained a little bit more finely in order for you to hear these little subtle timing differences that we place in our rap verses to make everything fit on the beat the way it's supposed to be. Sometimes just being off by 1/16th note can be the difference that makes your stuff sound off and bad. So if you want to test your ear training skills, I've actually already created a free rap course right here on YouTube. It's called 5 Minutes to a Better Rap Flow. And it's going to be like a guided practice where I'm going through the practice drills with you and we throw things like back and forth. It's really cool. I'll post a link in the video's description below to that as well. And the third reason why you may struggle to rap your songs the same way over and over again is because you may have just not memorized your lyrics yet. And what I like to do to memorize my lyrics is I memorize them in small chunks, like 4-bar sections at a time. I don't rap my verse from beginning all the way to the end and try to memorize it that way. I break it down in small pieces. As they say, the way that you eat an elephant is you eat it one piece at a time. So I find it easier to memorize things in small chunks. So take it 4-bar sections at a time. And if you need to, within that 4-bar section, break it down 1 bar at a time. Focus on learning that 1 bar. Once you got that, now add the 2nd bar. Once you add the 2nd bar, go back and rap the 1st bar and the 2nd bar together, and then focus on the 3rd bar and keep kind of doing it in chunks like that. So focusing on small pieces and then going back periodically to the beginning and rapping up to the point that you've already memorized. And that's the main criteria that you need to meet before you're ready to start rapping in front of others. If you know your song, then guess what? You're going to have confidence, and that's going to help you deliver it in a powerful and an emotional way, because if you're not confident in your performance, other people's won't be confident in it either. And so if you're not really truly feeling what you're doing, then other people you're performing to won't feel it either. And there's a quote that I love that goes with this: if you don't feel it, then why should anybody else? So make sure that you know your stuff like the back of your hand before you're ready to go out there and show it off to the world. So let's just pretend you got your song memorized. You know it like the back of your hand, but you still just have this huge paralyzing fear of rapping in front of others. You can't just quit thinking about, man, what if I mess up? Will they laugh at me? I'm going to feel so stupid. How can you get over that fear? How can you get rid of it so it doesn't pop up? The truth is you never get rid of it. What you do is you learn how to use it. Believe it or not, some of your favorite rappers like Eminem and DMX, they've both spoken openly about getting butterflies before they perform live on stage. So rest in peace, DMX. Even in the pinnacle of their careers, at the height of their fame, they still was getting nervous performing live on stage. So you see, it's very highly probable that you'll never get rid of that fear. It's always going to be there. But what you learn how to do is how to use that fear as fuel and use it to energize your performance. Don't run from it. Lean into it. It's like working out. You start feeling that pain and that burn, and it's not comfortable. It doesn't feel good, but you learn after a while, that's the money. You lean into it. You're getting results. You got to push through that discomfort. And honestly, the only way that you're ever truly going to get better at performing live is by performing live. But before you go from rapping in your bedroom to in front of hundreds of people, you may want to make that transition in smaller increments, like smaller steps and stages to get there. And here's how you can do it. First, let's go back to the bedroom. And this is where you start building up that confidence to perform live in front of other people. And what you can do is simply this. If you have a mirror in your room, that's great, because that gives you instant visual feedback of what you actually look like. And you can grab something that mimics like a microphone or something. This could be like your cell phone or a remote control to a TV or something like that. And that kind of mimics, that motion of holding that microphone in your hand. And at this point, you're going to tap into those creative powers that you have, that imagination. And you're going to start envisioning that you're rapping into a crowd and you're killing it. Just imagine people are hanging on every single word. You can see them swaying and moving back and forth in the crowd, or see them reacting to certain punchlines and phrases that you have. And you can hear the echoes around the room and hear people chanting your name. Just imagine how awesome that would be. That feels good, doesn't it? And as you're rapping your song, look at yourself in the mirror and critique yourself on your overall stage performance. Study your body movement, your eye contact with the crowd, little gestures here and there, like pointing to a crowd at a certain phrase that you say, or using your body movement to support the message in your song. Like, for an example, in your lyrics, if you say something like, cut it out, you could do like a gesture like this, cut it out, when you're rapping live on stage. And also, if you don't have a mirror, well, nowadays, everybody's got these things right here, and you can just film yourself and watch the film back and critique yourself that way. And also, you may want to watch videos of some of your favorite rappers and their live performances and kind of take little things from them, little gestures, little things they do on stage. Give some of that stuff a shot. Like look at Eminem, look at DMX. I'll tell you another master performer that I talked about recently on this channel, and that's Busta Rhymes. Like, that dude right there is crazy on stage. And I'll tell you another person, a lot of people don't give credit, but it's due. Ja Rule is incredible at live performances. Actually, you should look at his performance that he did on his versus battle with Fat Joe. He killed it. But as silly as it may sound that you're in your room practicing and stuff like that, this is super powerful, because I'm going to tell you what this is doing. This is creating a vision. You are envisioning something that has not happened yet. And we do this in all areas of our life. This is a powerful way that we manifest things in our life. So by the time it actually happens, it's like it's not new. It's like you've already experienced it many times in your mind. Success and failure are mindsets. Remember that. So as you do this little exercise, you will be building up the courage to rap in front of others. It may take days. It may take weeks. It may take months. But just remember, you're not getting rid of the fear of performing in front of other people. What you're doing is learning how to deal with it and wield it as fuel and energy, not as something that you're running away from. Again, like pain while you're working out. You're not running away from the pain while you're working out, because if you did, you never would get fit. You're learning to lean into it and use it as fuel. Now, once you've gained some experience rapping in front of the mirror or the cell phone, it's time to start stepping out of that bedroom and start rapping in front of other people. So what you can do is just grab a family member or friend. It can just be one person, somebody that you trust, someone that you know is not going to be like hypercritical and super mean to you and judgmental, and just rap in front of that one person. That can be an easy kind of win to kind of get you over that little mental hump of rapping in front of other people. They're likely not going to be critical of you, and they're likely going to be nice because they don't want to hurt your feelings. That can be a great way to kind of get your start with performing in front of other people. And once you do it in front of one person, feel free to do it a couple more times for just one person at a time with other people that you trust and things of that nature, and just get in the habit of performing in front of one person at a time. And after you do it to a few people, something funny will typically happen. One of those people will actually talk about you to somebody else, and they'll ask you to perform in front of their friends. So that one person will bring one of their friends into the fold and say, hey, perform for us. Well, now two's a crowd. You know what I'm saying? So now you're performing in front of 2 or 3 people. So if this happens, try to take advantage of it. If you cowered out, don't beat yourself up about it. Again, it's a process, but take advantage of it if you can, if it comes across. If not, just look for other small groups of people that you could rap in front of that you feel comfortable with. You know, it could be a group of your friends instead of just one friend or family member at a time. And I'll add one more to it. If you can perform like with a group of people, let's say like you get you and a couple of your friends and y'all all rap a song together and you perform in front of other people, that can also be a really good way to kind of get you over that little bit of a hump. Me personally, like before I started rapping, so I started rapping when I was in 5th grade. So I think I was 10 years old. But before then, I was already playing in my school's competition band. I was playing saxophone. So I remember even back then being in band and like performing with a whole squad of people. It was probably like, I don't know, like 40 or 50 people in our band. And so that kind of helped me get over the hump of performing live in front of large groups of people because I was with a large group of people. So it kind of helped me mentally get prepared and kind of get used to rapping or performing in front of crowds. And as simple as that, the more active you are as a performer, the larger the crowds typically get. As you continue to kill it, opportunities continue to present themselves. I've seen it happen time and time again with me personally. You know, you start with a small group and then somebody within that group goes and tells someone else like, hey, will you come to this event? Will you come to this party? Will you come to this show and be a part of it? And you go to that show. And then there's other people at that show and they're putting on shows and they ask you to come to their show. And the next thing you know, you're just performing all the time. Like that is a reality. That is highly probable that that'll happen to you if you just get busy performing and just take that leap of faith and step outside of your comfort zone and expect awesome things to happen. The fear itself of performing in front of other people will likely never go away, but you will become more and more comfortable with using that fear as fuel as you gain more experience. And that's the only way that you will ever overcome that fear is by the experience. You don't get rid of it, you overcome it. And I'm curious to know, have you ever performed live yet? And if so, what was your experience like? Was it good or was it bad? And also let me know if this video helped encourage you, if this is something that you've been struggling with. Sound off in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you all. My name is Cole Mize with ColeMizeStudios.com, where I strive to make you a better rapper now. And if you're trying to perfect your rap skills, make sure that you get yourself a free copy of my ebook, The #1 Fundamental to Rapping, via the link in the video description below. And subscribe to this channel for more straight to the point, no BS, how to rap video tutorials just like this one. And always remember, when it comes to rapping, there's no rules, there's only techniques. Peace. Hey man, you see that subscribe button right there? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Oh, and don't forget the bell icon. Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. Hey, I know you see that like button, right? Kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it, kill it. And look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, today I'm gonna kill it.